I'm here with Rita today. Rita's been a patient of mine for what, 15 years now, something like that?
Ever since I moved to this area.
Okay, great. And tell me a little bit about the types of things you were going through regarding your weight 7, 8 years ago.
Well, I've always had a weight problem all my life. Pleasantly plump little child and grew into a very obese woman. At my heaviest, I was 272 pounds and pretty much given up on losing weight and resigned myself to being, pretty overweight woman. And, the problems that I had, pretty low self-esteem, typical things. Your dating life's not so hot when you're overweight, and I said, I think you suggested to me that you had a new program here, and you told me about it, and I said, well, if I could eat just a shake, Dr. Repel, I wouldn't be this big, and I'm over 40, I got the hormones kicking in. I've tried a lot of things, I don't know, but, you kind of, said, well, I think it can work for you, and, since I've been your patient, I trusted you, so I said, okay, I'll give it a try. If you think I'm not going to be hungry, I'll try it.
Right. Yeah, as I recall, I remember you were struggling with your weight, and you kind of reached a plateau, and you just couldn't get any more off, and it had stayed there for a number of years, right?
Yeah, I was 210 at that point, because my heaviest was 272, and got down a little bit, but I was 210, and really couldn't get down anymore past that point.
Yeah. So I have your chart here in front of me, and do you mind if I just sort of tell what your numbers are now?
Sure.
So your August visit, August 20th of this year, your weight is now 165, and your body fat now is down to 39.8%. Now, we didn't have the same types of analyzers back 7 years ago, so I don't have accurate body fat from back then for you. Technology's improved quite a bit, luckily, since then. But at that time, your weight, as you said, was about 210. And so tell me a little bit about what the program did for you in terms of helping you along.
Well, it was amazingly that it worked. It gave me a lot of motivation at first, because the first week I lost 8 pounds. So I'm going, wow. Hey, it works, so that was kind of like, okay, I can do this. Now, the first couple of days, as you said, you might feel a little bit hungry, but it wasn't intolerable. In fact, going just on the shakes, it was easier than other diets where you had to have some food, because there's no choices that you have to really make. So it was like, okay, this, I kind of compare it to like you're almost like a baby and it's breastfeeding time. This is time to eat, and this is your food, So, that was the program. And I kind of, said, okay, this is, the choices. And then I saw the results, so that was motivating too. And then after a few days, you really didn't get hungry anymore. So then as the weight started to drop, I had a lot more energy, and then I said, oh, I can, do more things. And I started to, exercise more. And, then after I lost all the weight, and I actually got down to 144, if you go back further in my file, then of course people started to notice, and wow, and compliments, and oh, you look great, and, that it just gives you a lot more, confidence and self-esteem, and, your whole attitude changes really in life, and you start to take care of yourself more, you start to, just, really, I think, change, life for me in general.
How hard did you find it to, once you started on the shakes, to stay on them? What was your experience with the difficulty of being on all shakes 5 a day?
Yeah, like I said, the first couple days, you feel a little bit of hunger, but once you get past that, it's really, you don't feel hungry at all. People think you're going to be hungry because, especially my friends go, that's how you're eating? It's more mental. Like, I went on vacation. I went to Hawaii. I went to, parties. I went everywhere. But I would just take my bar or take my shake, and, just people would try to push food on me because they would think I was hungry. But I just said, no, this is my choice. This is what I'm doing. And I just decided to stay with it. So I wasn't hungry. It wasn't a hunger thing. So as long as mentally I was there, it wasn't a physical hunger. Once you go back onto food though, once I would have food, like in the maintenance part, then I get more hungry, because if you'd have food, then your body kind of wants to crave more food. But being on the shakes totally, I really didn't experience hunger.
Okay. And tell me a little bit about what changes it made in your life having lost the additional weight.
Whole lot, you know, you get have a more exciting dating life now. You know, get more in the self-confidence, self-esteem, your image of yourself, you know, life, you're more vibrant. You know, I'm 54 now. People say, hey, you look like you're in your 30s, you know. I feel like I'm, you know, still in my 30s or 40s. You know, just enjoy life more active, more physically active, more engaged in life, you know. So I think it's made a lot of difference.
Have there been changes in your exercise program since you were 210 that now you can do now that you're
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, I go to the gym now, you know, before it was, you know, harder to exercise, didn't have the motivation. So now, you know, I don't go as much as I should, but I do. I'm into, you know, programs at the gym. I don't feel, like before when I go to the gym, you feel like the fat person at the gym, so you don't want to go. But now I feel like, hey, I fit in with these people, so I'll go to classes, I go to body pump, I go to Zumba, I go to UJam. You know, and I feel, you know, like, hey, I belong here too. You know, I can wear a belt. I never wore a belt in my life. I wear jeans, you know. So I feel like, you know, I have a shape. I have, you know, it's a whole different me.
Great. How about your health? How do you think your
health
is?
Wise, you know, that's all in my chart too. I mean, I had, you know, high cholesterol, high fat. I think I was 0.6 or something like that for heart attack risk.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like 3 or less now.
Mm-hmm.
My, you know, blood pressure's, you know, 100/70, which, you know, good. So health-wise, I know it's a lot better, you know. And I come and I check that every month,
Right.
you know, just to maintain everything, check it out. So I know I'm a lot healthier now than before, which is really the goal. I know we talk about beauty,
Right.
because especially as a woman, that's important to us. But ultimately, it's our health, and I want to be around for my kids, my grandkids, and, you know, enjoy the life with the body. So
Right.
you got to be healthy to do that. So
Right. And how long have you kept the weight off now?
I started in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
So I lost like 65 pounds, I think, within the first 6 months, and then maintained it. I maintained it till about, I gained like 15 pounds back over, you
Right.
know, the span, mostly the last 2 or 3 years. I think I gained that weight back. So it's been 7 years now that I've maintained 50-pound loss.
Yeah, great. Now, I do a number of cosmetic procedures too. Do you mind talking a little bit about how the cosmetic procedures have combined with the weight loss?
Sure. Well, there's some areas that no matter, you know, especially when you lose weight and you've been heavier, you have excess skin. You have some pockets, places that, you know, are just harder to lose. So those areas, you know, we did some smart lipo on, you know, which helps tighten the skin and loses the fat there in those areas. In fact, I'm going to do another one on Monday here, because that's my last pain point.
Right.
You know, so that's been helpful, you know, as well.
Had you done any cosmetic procedures facially before you lost the weight 7 years ago? Botox, fillers, things like that?
No, because I wasn't really taking care of myself, didn't really have that motivation, but I started doing those things too after that, and I think IPLs, you know, to get rid of some of the red in my skin. So when people look at my pictures from like before, you know, like even 20 years ago when I was in my 30s, people don't even recognize me. You know, people say, like, is that your mom?
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah,
it's
well, even
totally,
me, having seen you and known you for 15 years or so, when you showed me your pictures from 8-9 years ago, I was stunned at the difference. So it's made a huge difference.
Yeah, so thank you.
Oh, you're
Go
welcome.
your office and your staff, and you always take care of my health and my beauty. So
Well, thanks. Thanks. Great. Well, thanks so much, Rita.
you're welcome.